And this segment is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sports booking app. Not only is it secure, but Deke, we know it's what? Safe? And more importantly, reliable. And if you use a promo code for all the first time, you just want to give them that promo code. You know that code. You know that what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember. It's Moats.
That's a good dude right here. He could have kept it a secret, but he did not. So shout out to you for being an honest man. If you use the promo code Moats, you will receive up to $1,000 in deposit bonus money. So what are they waiting on, D?
I'm not sure.
No, like seriously, like, what are they waiting on?
The time is now.
No, but seriously, what are they waiting on?
I don't know.
Go download the app, use the promo code, and have an opportunity to make some money. Obviously, was it 2-10-1 right now, and they're under they're led by their second-year head coach Zach Taylor. But this is a team that's been struggling. Obviously, they had some more promise early on when Joe Burrow was still healthy, but since he's been out, that offense has struggled. I mean, as you would expect. I mean, it was already going to be difficult with Joe Burrow in the lineup, but now they had to go with, I believe it was Brandon Allen, excuse me. Brandon Allen. Brian Allen was the former corner here for the Steelers, my dog. But yeah, Brandon Allen is the quarterback that they had used last week, and he's questionable right now. So we're still waiting to find out. It could be Brandon Allen. It could be Ryan Finley.
The return of Finley.
Who we've seen before now.
Which actually, sometimes you say, what's the difference between the second stringer and the third stringer? If Finley's in, I mean, I'm already feeling great about this game, but Finley, I think, is even a notch down from Allen from everything I've seen.
Yeah, and for me, man, when you have two quarterbacks who are going to struggle just based on their physical traits, their physical attributes, and now you talk about a scenario where you could potentially be switching quarterbacks in back-to-back weeks, that isn't a recipe for success. We saw that last year. And even regardless of which one of these guys start, the only reason why I'm not just chalking it up and taking it like, oh, we're going to knock this out, like, don't worry about it, is because we do remember two scenarios where we had it flip-flop both times for us, right? We had it where Mason started out versus the Bengals were struggling, and we did what? We went to Duck. Duck comes in, hits a throw, end up winning the game. Then we saw it versus the Jets where Duck starts struggling, and then we go to Mason. Mason comes in and has some success, hits a touchdown pass.
He got hurt.
Obviously, he got hurt, but you could just see with both of those guys, even though we had already seen multiple examples of them playing, and you see the inconsistencies with them, while we still, you can't necessarily just come in and, oh man, I expect to dominate these guys because of that. So hopefully that doesn't happen with either one of these guys. Hopefully they look like how they've looked on tape and there's no surprises. But we do remember Garrett Gilbert and what he did to us earlier in the year. That's my whole thing. I'm just like, we gotta say we learned from our lessons.
Yeah,
that's my biggest thing, man.
Maybe I won't be as arrogant. I do feel good. I feel like we're gonna win this game pretty handily. Now, I could understand some of the skeptics where our last however many games the offense hasn't been looking too hot. Yeah. I really do think we're gonna bounce back. I think Ben's gonna be playing really good. I think Deontay's gonna bounce back. I think all of our receivers are gonna bounce back. Just it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good thing Monday night for just the team in general.
And trust me, I agree. I just wanted to see which cornerbacks were available for them at the time. That's why I was pulling on my computer. So it looks like we're going to be seeing Darius Phillips and William Jackson III. So we're familiar with William, so nothing new there. Mackenzie Alexander looks like he's available to them. And then obviously the safeties, they still have Von Bell and Jesse Bates III. So, I mean, even with that, not a lot. And we talked about this the first time we played him, right? We said not a lot of playmaking on that back end, not a lot of high-end talent either. Not saying that they're not good players, but just to what they're going to be facing, we saw how Deontay really carved them up the first time around. They didn't have an answer for them, and they haven't made any moves to change that. I think the biggest difference right now, we got to just see which Deontay we're going to get. Are we getting Deontay from the first half of that Bills game, or the Deontay that responded well in the second half and was a lot more short-handed? I think that's going to be the biggest thing. This is one of those games where I really say it's more so you're not playing the Bengals this week. You're playing the Steelers. You have to worry about you, builder. Right? Because these past 2 weeks, regardless of what we want to say has played into it, they haven't been on. They haven't been clicking, right? They've all taken turns having mess ups and slip ups, and this is in all three phases. So I look at this as, man, you got this game right here versus an inferior opponent, right? On paper, this shouldn't be a debate. On paper, you already are better than them, right? Personnel wise, they just can't match up with you. But you can't come in with that mindset of, man, we're just better than we're going to do what do we do. No, you got to come with that mindset of, number one, we're going to try to establish dominance on the offensive line. When it comes to the run game, we want to be the more physical bunch. We heard Coach Tomlin critique the Steelers earlier in the week and say that he felt that the Bills were the more physical team. They out physical them for 4 quarters. That's something that you should never say about your team. And for him, he would never say that if it wasn't true. So how do they respond to that? That's what I want to see. That's what they should be focusing on. Man, we got to come here and be the more physical team. Regardless of what's going on, we got to be more physical.
You see, Dalton might be back.
I did see that.
There we go. It wasn't the pack. It was a shoulder.
I was happy. I was like, good. Shoulder, good. Because Fowler, Peck, they put him on IR right away, man. So that was definitely good to see that, man. But they're going to have to be more physical up front. That's the first thing. And then from there, all right, now we go out and we say, all right, receivers. Number one, when a pass is thrown to you, if it hits your hands, you have to catch the ball. That's simple. We don't want any drops. We've been leading the league in drops. We've had multiple performances now with multiple drops. That cannot happen, but we can't fix it. You know, we can't try to get 3 games in a row without getting this first game of no drops. So let's focus on that this game. We're going to catch every pass. That's what we're focused on. Even if it takes away from the run after, I would rather you are less effective with your run after and secure the catch than be great with the run after but can't secure the catch, because one can't work without the other. Whereas we can get away with no run after as long as we maintain possession. So that's the second thing they got to focus on. Then defensively, what are we talking about? Man, okay, Vince Williams, is he going to be available? Is he not going to be available? It's gonna be tight. We'll see, just based on, you know, when he was officially put on the list. So it might happen, it might not 100%. But we do know this: Avery Williamson is going to be available. Marcus Allen is going to be available. Yeah. Those 2 guys played a big time role last week, and also I left them out, but Ulysses Gilbert played well as well. He was the third linebacker in rotation. All 3 of those guys are going to have ample opportunities regardless of if Vince is able to play or not. So with that being said, y'all have to be better, right? We played well that first game, but you always got to grow. You always got to get better. There's certain things that were on tape that teams are going to look to expose you guys on. The sooner you address that and get that cleaned up, less of an issue it becomes. This is one of those games where you correct those things, though. Let's be real. You don't have a true threat from a backfield standpoint. Joe Mixon is not playing, so it's Giovanni
Bernard. Banged up.
Yeah, so we know what Giovanni Bernard is.
They don't even use him like the main guy.
I know.
They have. I can't even name their name. I think the one got P. Ryan.
Yeah, so you have Samaji P. Ryan, and then the other back is Trey?
I don't even know. I don't know where he came from.
It's Trayvon Williams. Yeah, because obviously Joe Mixon is on IR. So when you talk about the running game, any of those backs we just named, you're not really feeling threatened, whether it's rushing. Now, Giovanni can give you a little bit more from a passing standpoint, but they've used him to protect as well. So if you're Marcus Allen, if you're Avery Williamson, if you're Ulysses Gilbert, this is a game where we should be clean in coverage, right? We shouldn't miss any tackles. This is a game that if I'm hug rushing or if I'm blitzing and one of those backs are trying to take on me, I should win every time. Regardless if I'm running them over or I'm running around them, but either way, I should win. I should have an effective rush plan versus those guys. And then in the back end, look like you're going to be getting Joe Hayden back, right? That's going to be huge. You obviously have Steven Nelson back. From there, Cam Sutton, we talked about him. He's been balling out. Should be getting more opportunities, right? But either way, you know, okay, on the back end, we should be clean. We shouldn't have another receiver go over 100 yards on us. We're coming off of a performance where, really, you could say back-to-back performance. Because remember, Logan Thomas was right around that 100-yard vein as well.
Sims had a good game too.
So this has to be the game where you say, you know what? No 100-yard receivers. Okay? No 100-yard receivers. And from there, now we continue to build on it. But that has to be the approach. That has to be how you challenge yourself and get laser focused in a game like this.